Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect. I'm David Lott, and I'm not alone. I also have here with me Michelle Hillard. How's it going, Michelle?
Good. Hi, everyone. Hello.
I'm out of practice. It's been a while. We have not done a show in quite a long time, but we're back, hopefully on a more regular basis. You know what? I'm never going to make promises. We've always done this show as a very laid back affair. It's a hobby for us, really.
It is.
This is not clearly our full-time job, or we are not making good money. So, yeah. Cheers to that. Yeah. So, we're here to talk about, anything we feel like, but the main agenda today is Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, that is, was a week ago. What is it, Saturday? So
yeah.
A week ago today, I was in Hall H. But yes, we're definitely going to talk a lot about Hall H. We're going to talk about Comic-Con. I know, Michelle, you were not there this year.
No. It was very sad.
And Bobby really wanted to be here. Bobby was at Comic-Con this year. So was Yasha. And my son. I took my son for the first time. But Bobby wanted to be on this show, and just his schedule. We could not make it work, at least not for this weekend. So I decided, hey, you and I will do a show. And you know what? You can play the part of the audience who also, any of the audience who was not at Comic-Con. Michelle, that's you.
That's me.
But I know you've been kind of up to date as to like the stuff that was announced. It's not like you haven't seen like any new trailers that were dropped. Yeah, we're going to talk about Comic-Con, talk about my experience, especially Hall H. Like I said, there was a lot of drama this year.
Yeah, that's the gist I get from happened online. Yeah,
mainly regarding Hall H, so we're going to get into that. I will say, yes, I'm going to talk about like especially the stuff I saw at Comic-Con and in Hall H, which I think could be interesting to anyone. And yeah, we are going to get into some of the drama regarding Comic-Con and wristbands and Hall H entry. And if you're watching this, say on YouTube in the future, by the way, we're streaming this live on Twitch. We do have a Twitch account, Flicker_effect over on Twitch. But this is going to go up on YouTube very soon in the future once we're done. And if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, I am going to do my best to do chapters. So if, we get to a part, we're just talking about logistics of Comic-Con and you're like, I don't care about this. I just want to hear about like what movies were announced and what you saw. Like you can hopefully jump around in the video. Please feel free to jump around. Of course, I'd love for you to watch the whole thing. We would love for you to do that.
That'd be great.
But hey, I totally get it. If we're getting to a part, you're like, this is boring. I don't care. Just check the chapters, jump around as you will. But before we get into things, I did want to bring up, like I said, it's been quite a while since we've done a show. And Bobby and I were actually in a pretty good rhythm there for a little bit. We've taken breaks with the show before. Like I said, this is not a full-time job. But Bobby and I in the new year, we're kind of getting into a rhythm of doing a show every week. I travel for work right now. That's kind of changing somewhat soon. But even from a hotel room, Bobby and I were doing shows. It was kind of working out. But we haven't done a show in a long time. And I wanted to mention one of the big reasons why. Back in March, right around the time we stopped doing shows, we lost my extremely close friend and former co-host of this podcast, Carlton Card. Carlton passed away suddenly in March. It was obviously a huge shock. And like I said, Bobby and I were kind of in a routine of doing shows, and that took our show to a screeching halt. I was not prepared to do shows for a while. I don't think any of us were. And I'm not saying that's the only reason we haven't been doing shows. I mean, that was a big one while we stopped at the time. And then life has also just gotten in the way. And it's been tough to, I think, get back in the routine. But I wanted to explain to the audience what was going on, of course, and mention that, Carlton, I started this show with Carlton. It was just me and him. And I can never remember how many years it's been because I don't remember that the marker I always use of when did we start this show. I remember our first episode was reviewing the Green Lantern movie.
The one with Ryan Reynolds.
So however long ago that is when we started Flickr Effect. And Carlton did it with me for quite a long time. And eventually we've had other co-hosts that have kind of come in and out. I know Christy Cole was on the show for a bit. Aaron Cosman did some episodes. Bobby ended up jumping on and obviously took a pretty full-time role co-hosting. And eventually Carlton decided he needed to move on from the show. But it's tough too, because if you do subscribe to our podcast feed, we've changed podcasts like host a couple times throughout the years. And we're happy to be on the Geekscape network right now. And I know for a fact actually that our older episodes are not on that feed right now. No, and if you wanted to go back and listen to episodes that Carlton was on, I honestly am not sure if they're even available in that feed. And like I said, this isn't a full-time job, but that is something I've been meaning to try to work on. I know I have all that content on a hard drive sitting over here somewhere. And if I can get all of the older previous episodes of Flickr Effect up on our feed, I would like to do that. I'm not sure the logistics of doing that yet. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm being completely honest, but it is something I would like to work on when I have some free time. So I would love to say that you could go back and listen to previous episodes that Carlton was on, but I don't actually think that's probably possible right now. Just heads up.
Yeah, I mean, there might be one or two where he was kind of popped in for a little while in recent years, but that literally might be 1 or 2 episodes in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even know which. I
couldn't even begin to tell you.
Couldn't even remember
begin to tell you
which ones those were.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I meant to sooner after his passing to jump on the Flickr Effect just to talk about Carlton. And again, I just wasn't ready to do that. And I don't think any of us were. So it's been a tough few months, but I just wanted to mention and let the audience know what was going on. And yeah, that's that. Well, let's move on, shall we, I guess?
Sure.
So like I said, we're going to talk about Comic-Con for the most part. Michelle, you did not go to Comic-Con, but really quick, we won't talk about this long, but really quick, you did, though, originally fly out with me and my son. You and my daughter also came out.
Yeah.
The 4 of us flew out and went to Disneyland for 2 days. What'd you think of your second visit to Disneyland? The funny thing is you and I did this routine last summer. So last summer, you and I went to Orange County, went to Disneyland for a day. That was your first time going to Disneyland. I had been there before.
We went one singular day, both parks.
And then we went down to San Diego and went to Comic-Con. Well, this summer, all 4 of us went to Disneyland. And then you and my daughter flew back. And then me and my son went down to Comic-Con. But what'd you think of your second Disneyland visit?
I had a really great time. And I will say my second visit was still really good. I think I still pretty stand by my thoughts on, I think Disneyland is the best park, in my opinion. Like the way it's kind of laid out, the vibe of it, the history, the nostalgia, the Waltness of it all, the rides. I think it's a better park. I think it's the best one out of all of them, in my opinion. I do enjoy California Adventure, and I remember last year when I did California Adventure, we really were in it for just a short portion of the day, because by the time we got over there in the afternoon, the wait times for everything was just so incredibly long. So we really just did a lap and then left. But this year, we broke it up where we had 1 full day in Disneyland and 1 full day at California Adventure. And I can safely say that I think I have walked every inch of California Adventure on this one day. We lapped that park at least 3 times, bare minimum, full 3 times.
Yeah.
I would say I really do like California Adventure. And when it comes to, like, say if I were to compare California Adventure to Walt Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I feel like it's the park it most closely resembles. There's still major differences, but
there are. But I think it's the best comparable.
The entryway is almost identical.
The entryway is almost practically identical. I think I don't know. I think I still like our Hollywood Studios a little bit better than California Adventure, but then there's aspects in California Adventure, like the whole, Grizzly Park.
Oh, like the Grizzly Peak area.
Yeah, the Grizzly Peak area. It's very, Northern California.
I don't know if that's the name of that land, but yeah, it's something like that.
It's got the Grizzly River Rapid ride.
Right.
And and then Soarin', and it's literally like going into the Redwood Forest. And so that aspect is probably my favorite part of that park that we obviously don't have here in Florida. But I'm getting off topic. But I would say I do enjoy California Adventure, but it's definitely not as good as our Hollywood Studios here, in my opinion. But
I don't know if I would agree with that, by the way.
I don't know. And I'm not saying by like a lot. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's so much better here. But I'm like, there's just, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. It's like a feeling, I think, is the best way to go with it. I'm not saying it's like, oh, ours is just leaps and bounds better by so many levels. And I think they're pretty comparable, but there's little differences here and there. But when it comes to Disneyland, I think it's just the best park out of all of them, in my opinion. There's just something about it. And now, having said that, now I feel like now that I've ridden all of those rides now twice, basically, there's definitely rides that I'm like I will say I like Disneyland's Pirates better than Walt Disney World's Pirates. But I think I've decided that I think I like our Haunted Mansion here in Florida better.
Yeah, we talked about that out there.
Yeah.
Because I think I agree. I'm not saying it's a major difference. Obviously, the exterior is extremely different.
Yes. The exteriors are... Oh, and ours just got painted and looks really good.
Yeah. Apparently, ours went back to the original paint job from when the park opened.
Good, because it looks so much better.
Yeah, no, there's scene differences, especially in the beginning of Haunted Mansion, that I think I like here. Yeah. Versus Disneyland.
Yeah. And I won't go ride for ride here at this point. I'm just kind of giving...
We could spend a whole episode just talking about parks. We're not going to do that.
Oh, easily.
I just wanted to bring it up.
I'm just bringing up, like, I feel like there's hits and I feel like there's things that are there that are better than here. And there's things that are here that I think are better than there. And I'm saying better than, it's not by like huge gaps.
Right.
So I did finally get to ride the Matterhorn.
Oh, yeah, you hadn't been on that. I guess I forgot this, and maybe I'm wrong. And anybody watching, please correct me. I guess. So wait, the Matterhorn was, I think, the first steel, like tubular, like tracked roller coaster.
I do believe it was the first.
I'm not describing that well, but I think you know what I mean.
Like a round
tubular
metal
steel
tube
made track,
right? Where the coaster like grips onto the actual rails.
I guess, I heard that.
It's not squared; it's rounded.
I heard that recently, and I was like, "Oh, maybe." I think I probably have heard that before, and I just forgot. But I forgot. Anyway,
I mean, if it wasn't the first, I could probably safely say it was the first in the United States.
Right.
I'll put it that way. But no, so that was kind of cool. I finally got to ride that big piece of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I liked it, actually. I mean, yeah, it's a little jolty, bumpy. It's, it's 70 years old.
Right.
So it's not as smooth as it used to be, I'm sure. But I actually still really enjoyed it. It was really nice. And it was just nice to go with your kids. Like,
no, it was fun to take them for the first time. It was actually kind of a last-ish minute decision to do that. It was, Atticus and my son and I intended on doing Comic-Con for a while now, ever since we got badges, back in November. And then it was much more recently. They were like, you know what, we should make this work, and all four of us go to Disneyland, and then me and Atticus will go down to
I think we basically in April kind of bit the bullet and booked a hotel, bought the tickets, bought the flights. I'll say really quick, and I was reacting to you saying you think you like Hollywood Studios better than California Adventure. I guess I only hesitate because I think, like you, I think you're in the same boat. I mean, I have very fond memories of working at Disney MGM Studios.
that park, Disney MGM Studios, it was like home. I loved that park. Yeah. It has changed a lot. And I'm not saying everything is bad, but
it has changed.
It has changed in a way, not just its name, that it's just not the same for me. And I mean, yeah, maybe I think I still like it better than California Adventure. I don't know, but that's why I hesitate, because I'm like, park. If that park was still Disney MGM Studios that I remember, then I'd be like, absolutely, it's way better.
Yes,
but
yeah.
It's not.
I think what it is I think if I really thought about it, they're more on like even ground, but there's aspects in one that I like better than the other. And then there's other things like, again, like Soarin' is at California Adventure, and now it's Pixar Pier, but the whole thing is that whole area is completely Pixar, versus in ours, we don't have Soarin'. Ours is over at Epcot, which I still love. I think that's actually a great place for it here. And our Pixar area is very Toy Story centric right currently, and I say that because Monsters Inc. is moving in soon.
But not connected to that.
But it's also not good. Again, there's basically like there's sections here that I don't like versus there.
Right.
It's like I don't know. I think maybe the reason I feel that I like ours slightly better is because it's personal to me, because I've worked at that park. That park holds a special place for me. So
yeah.
Maybe that's why I think I'm putting it a little bit ahead of California Adventure, but at the same time, there's still things California Adventure that I definitely enjoy. Regardless, it was a really great trip. We stayed at a hotel that was across the street, so we got to just walk to the parks and walk back. No, it was just really fun to take your kids and see it through their eyes. So it was fun.
It was fun. It was a good time.
It was.
But I guess on to...
That's where we got Sam.
That's where we got Sam Eagle back there. Yeah.
Sam Eagle.
I know they sell that, I think, at Disney World here, but we haven't been to Disney World in forever. And we were there, and I'm not a popcorn bucket guy, but I was like, that's actually not bad. He was like $20 with popcorn. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get Sam Eagle. That's about as patriotic as I get right now. And yeah.
He's pretty cute.
You managed to fit him in a bag and brought him back.
I'm not a popcorn bucket person either. I'm not like we got to get the cool popcorn bucket. I mean, we collect a lot of stuff.
Right.
Both you and I each have our things
somewhere, and
I'm glad we're kind of drawing it at popcorn buckets. So that's basically the first popcorn bucket that we've purchased. But there were some cute ones. And actually, the bullseye one for Toy Story 5 that just dropped, that one actually was really cute. And I'm sure we have it at our studios here. But man, that I almost bought that one.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet.
Because that bullseye popcorn bucket was really cute.
I said in like our Flickr Effect chat that the IMAX camera popcorn bucket going to obviously not at the parks. This is movie theaters. The IMAX camera popcorn bucket that has been released for the Odyssey, I was like, okay, I might have to have that. And I didn't even realize too, it's like you look in the viewfinder and you see a frame of the movie in the viewfinder, the popcorn bucket. And you can actually order it, I think, still online. You don't get it for a while. They're not shipping them until like November or December.
I think that's what you said was November.
But I saw it.
I'm open to having that one in a collection, being like, we have Sam Eagle and we have the IMAX.
The IMAX
and being
camera.
Like, that's it.
I saw it in person at Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
AMC has a booth now at Comic-Con, and basically they're just selling popcorn buckets, and they had it on display there. So it's a little smaller than I think I was expecting, but it's not small.
It's still pretty cute, and it's boxy, and you can see where it actually
would work better as a popcorn bucket.
It's one of the better popcorn buckets you've ever seen.
Like that Sam Eagle popcorn bucket behind you, it's a cool
tiny
thing, but putting popcorn in it and eating popcorn out of it, I think is kind of a joke, which is the case, I think, with most of the popcorn.
Most of them are kind of a joke, which is why they give you the actual the fun popcorn bucket, and then they give you popcorn in a container.
Yeah, they don't put the popcorn in it. Like, if you want to, go for it.
You can
put it in there for yourself, but yeah.
Like if you're going to the park and your kid really wants it, you basically take that box, pour some in, give them the fun one, then you can have the regular.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, no, it was one of those things. And you know what? It's funny is that it's silly. I know we're going off tangent here. That Samuel popcorn bucket makes me nostalgic for our Muppets 3D vision that we had here at the studios in Disney World. because there's a really great section with Sam Eagle, and he celebrates America.
Yeah,
all great nations, but mostly America. It's such a funny classic Sam Eagle moment, and I just always think about that, especially around like the 4th of July and this year with 250. Like, it just was like one of those things. I was just like a celebration of all nations, but mostly America. Yeah. I just love it. Little things like that I like.
But after we went to Disneyland, my son and I jumped on a train, went down to San Diego, and went to Comic-Con. We did 3-day passes this year. We did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We flew back on Sunday, so no Sunday for us this year. But it was his first time. Obviously, he's not here to share his thoughts, but I think he had a good time.
I think he did. He seemed pretty happy when I got you guys from the airport. He was pretty he was tired.
Oh, yeah, we were tired.
But
coming off West Coast time and flying back.
I could tell, your son is a teenager, and teenagers,
what?
they only really talk unless they're really excited to talk about a topic.
Right.
And then they'll talk. Otherwise, they're not going to talk. And he was very happy and open to conversing and talk about Comic-Con, and he was chatty and happy. And I was like, well, that means he liked it. Because, I know that sounds really stupid and I'm putting things in a box here, but that's how teenagers are. When they like something, they'll talk about it. Or if they totally hate something, then they'll go off. But mostly, no, he seemed like he was very happy with it. I think he was kind of surprised about the Hall H experience and being in that big room. I think he sounded like he thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, no, he sounded very happy. I mean, again, I won't give details, but I think he enjoyed it.
I think he had a good time. We're going to talk a lot about Hall H, I'm sure. But one thing I was going to say, Comic-Con this year, obviously, I want to be clear, I had a great time with my son. I was really looking forward to taking him to his first San Diego Comic-Con and sharing that with him. I've been many times. I think the first year I went was 2012. I haven't been every year. It's not like Dragon Con. I've been going to Dragon Con every year since the first year I went. Comic-Con, it's across the country. It's harder to get badges. Some years I've tried to get a badge and it just didn't happen and I didn't go. But anyway, I have been many times. I was looking forward to sharing it with him, so that was good. But then the con itself, I will say this year it was weird. It was good, and in a lot of ways, and I would say maybe in most ways, it was normal San Diego Comic-Con. But there were things I don't know, in one sense, and I think maybe the biggest example of this is some of the activations or lack thereof outside of the convention center. It felt like there wasn't as much happening this year, especially, and now I'm gonna promote my YouTube channel. I've posted a couple videos on my YouTube channel, which is Fader Monk over at YouTube. And, but I still have at least two more, or at least one more, but probably two more that I'm going to post there that are kind of one of them I haven't posted yet. That's going to get into especially, you remember behind the convention center on the marina side, usually it's bustling back there. That whole grass area is filled with stuff, with activations from different studios and such. And there was not much at all this year. It was very quiet. That whole grass area right across from the Hilton was just empty. Now,
which is crazy because usually it's if I think about all of the grass area behind the convention center that runs along the marina, there's minimally 2 major, I'll say corporations, if not 3. And yeah, it's kind of weird. It basically sounds like there was just one on a portion of it.
I mean, so back there, and again, I'll have a video I need to post, and you'll see this in that video on my channel. But Adult Swim still had the same setup as they had that we saw last year.
But Hulumation changed this year. It went out front, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. There was a Hulu thing over in the gasoline.
Yeah.
But
usually it's also by Adult Swim. Sorry.
Adult Swim was still there with its fenced-in area. It was basically a big party with a stage, DJ, and everything. That basically looked identical to what we saw last year. But that whole area in the grass next to it, across from the Hilton, just empty. Other than this small American Horror Story trailer where I think they were giving out ice cream. There were 2 of those back there. There was one near the Hilton and one over near the marina. And then Funko did have a big presence back at the band shell in the very back there where the Hall H wristbands.
That's way the heck back there.
They basically had this big like party event thing going on at the like outdoor band shell thing, whatever they call that.
I mean, that's really cool. Yeah, it's like an amphitheater band shell kind of thing.
I think was the other word I was trying to think of.
And it is really cool back there, but that is way off the beaten path. Unless you're literally in line for Hall H badges, that is heckin' gone from kind of everything else.
But there were a lot of people back there. I mean, people clearly knew about it.
Okay.
But there was no boats with anything going on. You know, normally they had like a pirate ship or something back there for the one brewery, right?
Well, then last year.
Last year they had Abbott Elementary.
And then Abbott Elementary was there.
None of that was there.
Man.
None of that.
That does sound a little thin.
It was weird. And then even I didn't count, but I feel like even the activations inside Gaslamp were less. Like Paramount Lodge was still a very big thing this year. That was clearly the biggest offsite thing.
That's been a very big thing.
I don't know what year that started. We went to it last year or saw it last year. And then I think they've done it 2 years before that. I think saw it.
I was going to say, this is the 4th year. I think they've done it. The Paramount Lodge.
Yeah, we went in 2025. We did not go in 2024, but we were there in 2023.
Correct.
I think it was there 2023. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I feel like the amount of offsites in Gaslamp were also less. Like there was definitely stuff. You looked around, you saw advertisements on the buildings like you always see. There was some activations, but not a lot.
No, it's funny you say that because even from my perspective at home, just going through Instagram and just kind of
social media,
looking at stuff there, looking on Twitch and looking at things, they're just keeping up with the social media of it all. Like I was kind of going, there doesn't seem to be a lot. Like there was a small activation for the new Leica film that's coming out. And I think they did it in the same place that the Vampire Lestat was last year. But that's a very small one. But it's like, I think back years ago and I'm like, there was a bunch. Like there was a huge one always at Hard Rock. And there was always a big, like the one you thought was Game of Thrones way back in the day. And like, yeah, I feel like there was a lot. And like this year, even I was kind of thinking, okay, so there's Paramount Lodge, there's the Leica one. And now I can't think there was another one. It is. There was one for Anne Rice again, wasn't there?
Well, I don't know if they had something you could walk into for the Anne Rice universe stuff or not, or if they just had like that building above Lou and Mickey's that usually has the AMC like Anne Rice stuff lately on it. I think that was just on the building, but I don't know if there was something you could walk through or not.
But then I think,
and then that park next to there's the Hilton Gaslamp. Yeah, there's that park next to it. That's where the Hulu animation stuff was.
Right. Yeah, and last year that's where the Fantastic Four stuff was. Yeah. See, and like I feel like even just thinking about this, I'm like that is not a lot of stuff. Not in previous years.
It didn't seem like it to me.
I wasn't even there. It doesn't seem like it to me.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the exhibit hall floor was just packed. I mean, they sell every booth they have, and the end of the room, or it's kind of like the middle to the one side of the room, the left side, I guess, if you are looking at a map, is where like the bigger booths are, and I felt like there was just as much bigger stuff as normal inside the exhibit hall. But
sounds like Lego is smaller this year, though.
It was just different. It was different. I don't think I shot any footage of Lego for some reason, but I walked around it.
They didn't have the big display of the whole
they didn't
thing from last year. So.
But yeah, Comic-Con just felt different this year. And I feel like that's been a reaction I've seen online a lot. I know I've seen a lot of reaction of like people saying, I think this is my last Comic-Con.
I've seen that a lot.
And you could probably go back in history, just even if it's just private conversations between me and you. And I've probably said many times, okay, I think that's my last Comic-Con for a while. And as great of a time as I had with Atticus out there this year, there's a part of me that, and I hesitate to say this publicly, that goes, yeah, this might be my last Comic-Con for a little bit. It's also tough for me because I have very good friends there. Our very good friends, Bobby and Yasha, that live out there. that, unless we just make a trip to Southern California, which we would absolutely do. We love Southern California. But a Comic-Con trip has also turned into an opportunity to hang out with them and see them.
Correct.
And I hesitate to say, well, I'm not going to go to Comic-Con maybe for a while, because I also like just visiting them. But we could also just go and visit them.
And maybe it could see, maybe not next year, but the year after, maybe we all go out there and we do a whole trip, and maybe we only get badges for like Friday or Saturday, and then we just go walk the floor and hang out for a day there, but then do other things in Southern California. Right. Who knows?
Right. And I also know, I took my son this year, and my daughter's a little younger, and not that she's too young to go to Comic-Con right now. No. She could totally go right now, but
she'd love it.
I've also told her I would like to take her, and that I'm sure that's going to happen. A couple years, maybe not next year, but maybe the year after, that could absolutely happen.
Maybe about the same time that he went for his first,
right. So I'm not saying I'm never going back to Comic-Con. That's absolutely not. Those are not the words coming out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah, no.
I did have this feeling this year, I feel like more than ever, of kind of like, I'm good right now. And I mean, I think I could say this. I think Bobby has told me privately, that, I think he commented on my YouTube video, as much as he was frustrated by some things this year, I forget exactly how he said it, watching footage back of it does make him miss it. And I mean, even watching the footage back that I shot as I edited my videos, I'm like, yeah, I did have a good time. I'm not saying I didn't have a good time, but anyway, I don't know. It's just my way of saying that I don't know. I felt like there was a funkier vibe about Comic-Con this year. It didn't feel the same. That could also just be the fact that I've now been a bunch of times, and it's just, it's always going to change and not be the same.
I mean, again, I was not there. I can only tell you what it was like from an outsider, basically just social mediaing it. It seemed a little lacklustery, and okay, let me clarify. Comic-Con is always commercial, corporate, everything. It has been for quite some time. Some time. Many years.
Not since the very beginning.
Not since the very beginning, yes, but I would say in the last 16 years, Comic-Con has been about the corporations making their money. It's about Hollywood making their money, right? And so, yeah, it's all about sales of items and sales of things and promoting your things. And it's really that way. It seemed almost so heavy-handed in a way this year. But it's almost like they're trying too hard, and it's off-putting. Some years I feel like it's very it feels natural, and the promotions feel like it all makes sense. And then this year it seemed very there was less, but then what there was almost just shoved in your face. And again, this is just me going off of what I see on social media and all the things I follow, but it just seemed there's years you can go and I feel like you're oh, I mean, obviously it's corporate stuff, but it doesn't feel corporate. This year, from an outsider's perspective, it looks like it felt very corporate, in my opinion, from again, not physically being there.
I think I know what you mean.
It's hard to explain.
I think there's a way, Bobby was talking about this while we were out there, that he was kind of describing the years he felt like were peak Comic-Con. I think, especially pre-COVID, we were getting to this point with Hall H events and such that it felt like peak. Looking back, it now seems like, man, that was the peak years. I think of the year you and I had press badges and were at the front of the room. I don't even think Marvel Studios was in there. No,
it was just DC. It was literally Warner Brothers. It was Warner Brothers that closed it out that day, and it still was.
And even though, like you're saying, it's still the studios obviously pushing their product at us. It felt fun, and it felt like everyone was naturally excited about all of it. Yes. And this year, there was clearly, before the panel, a lot of excitement about Marvel. And we'll get into Saturday, probably right about now, but, especially in Saturday and Hall H, Marvel was really it. So when the panel schedule came out, it always comes out 2 weeks before the convention. And when the panel schedule came out, I know I and like everybody, I feel looked at that Saturday schedule and was that's Hall H Saturday. Like, this feels pretty
Yeah.
weak. Like, and
And that's not the poo-poo, because what, Star Trek was in there, so it's Paramount to start off, right? That day, or was that a different day?
No, I'll get into what started it off. It was something.
Oh.
I wish Yasha were here to talk about it.
Oh.
But yeah, Marvel was clearly the big panel of the day.
Yeah.
And as always, Marvel likes to be in that slot that's toward the end of the day, basically closing out the day, with the exception of Kevin Smith will always do his An Evening with Kevin Smith panel after Marvel. Though there's also been years that he does that when there's no Marvel. It's just after the last panel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And besides that, I mean, Apple TV they had a huge slot this year. They had a 2-hour slot. And, you know, in the description, they definitely had some stuff to show, but it wasn't like, I love Apple. I love the Apple TV product. I think they're putting out great stuff.
Their content is solid.
But it's not like the kind of stuff necessarily that the Comic-Con crowd, the Hall H crowd is like clamoring for, you know? It doesn't. You don't look at that on the schedule and go, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to see Apple TV on Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, arguably the next biggest panel was the Star Trek panel. It was the Star Trek Universe panel, and
Which I love Star Trek.
Huge Trekker. I love Star Trek.
But so far, Apple and Paramount sound like Friday panels to me.
Yes. I would say, I mean, the argument could be made as a big Star Trek fan that did Star Trek need to be in Hall H at all? Like, I mean, it's tough. I hate saying that because I love Star Trek. I'm not trying to poo-poo Star Trek, but I guess if I think of the current level for fandom of Star Trek, like, I could see it being in a Ballroom 20. Now, I'm saying that clearly Comic-Con did not have as many panels to fill Hall H this year. They didn't even have panels on Sunday in that room.
Oh, are you serious?
No, there was nothing in Hall H on Sunday.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Really?
Yeah. And I think that's happened in previous years, I think, but usually there's something going on in there on Sunday. It's obviously a quieter day because it's the last day of con, but there was nothing on Sunday in that room. And the first panel of the day, I think, usually starts at 10, and the first panel this year wasn't until 11:15. So basically that 10 to 11 spot was empty. So with that in mind, I do get putting Star Trek in there.
With that all in mind, yeah.
You almost kind of needed to put some content in Hall H. But yeah, I mean, while we're talking Star Trek, the Star Trek panel was good. But the first half of it was basically to celebrate the 60th anniversary, which is this year. I think the first episode of the original series aired in September of '66. So this September will be the 60th anniversary.
George Takei showed up, I know.
George Takei was there. And Takei. And a bunch of other, what's his name, who played Worf? Oh my God, I should know his name. He was on the panel.
Michael Dorn.
Dorn, thank you. Sorry, my brain was just...
It's okay.
Thank you.
There's a lot of Star Trek.
There's a lot of Star Trek cast members. Yeah, there was representatives from various Star Trek TV shows and movies on that panel. And it was a good panel. Nothing against that panel. It was good. Of course, it's great to see like an icon Star Trek actor like George Takei on the panel. It's awesome. And then the second half of the panel was about Strange New Worlds, which is going into it just started its 4th season. And there's going to be a 5th, the last season.
And the 5th is the last,
is my understanding. But yeah, that was the Star Trek panel. They showed like the only really footage they showed like a trailer for Strange New Worlds, but the season's already started. It's not like they had anything to really show us.
Was like everybody there, like Anson Mount and
everybody was there except oh man, what's her name that plays the Doctor? Why am I blanking on that actress's name? Jess.
Man, I like her. I know it's Jess.
Jess something.
Shoot.
Yeah, anyway.
I like her too.
Yeah, I like her too. And she was really the only big, I would say, main character of that show that I don't think was on the panel. Oh, and the other Doctor wasn't there either, I don't think.
Oh, I like him too.
Yeah. I don't think either Doctor was there. I don't think. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I don't think he was there.
Bummer.
But anyway, it was a good panel, but it was fine.
Like, it sounds like I love Star Trek. Star Trek for me, like you said, is a Ballroom 20 or it's a Friday or a Sunday Hall H. Like it's in usual traditional years, I would say. But it sounds like this year sounds very not usual.
And
at
then,
all.
you know, obviously they're clearly far off from this next Star Trek movie they're making. But,
Yes.
and I'm going to look up the I wish I could remember these directors' names. So on Thursday, Atticus and I did go into Hall H for a little bit. We went into Hall H for half of the Stewart Fails to Save the Universe panel. We basically walked right into the room for the second half of that panel. And then I was going in there because I wanted to go to the Collider's Directors on Directing panel, which
It's always a good one.
It's always a good one.
It's always good.
I think it's a panel that people don't really think about, but I mean, whatever directors are there, they're going to probably there to also promote something they've got coming out. And
They're promoting a film coming out this calendar year.
You're going to get to see some stuff maybe that not the general public's not going to get to see. And I was obviously very excited as a big Zach Krager fan. He was on the panel. He just directed Weapons. I sadly haven't even seen Barbarian yet, but he directed Barbarian. And he's got Resident Evil coming out. The other two directors who worked together, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, who was an actor. You probably recognize him when you see him. They directed the Dungeons and Dragons movie together. They've got that new movie with Ryan Reynolds coming out Midway on Apple. The one with Kenneth Branagh.
Oh yeah, where he's stuck trying to get out of Russia during the Cold War in the 80s.
Yeah, they directed that. They are directing a Star Trek movie that, you know, during Directors on Directing, you know, the moderator brought it up. He's like, I'm sure you can't say really anything yet, but do you have anything to share about the Star Trek movie you're doing? And really all they would say is like, it's not characters we know. This is not going to be like Kirk and Spock.
Oh.
It also sounds like it's going to be set in the future from what the Star Trek world that we know. But that's really all they would say. But I mean, I guess with the fact that they've got not much to say, part of me is like, you got the directors there. I felt like maybe you would have brought them out during the Star Trek panel just to kind of maybe share a little more. I don't know.
Something.
But they didn't even do that. Like they appeared on the Apple TV panel to talk about Midway, but they did not appear during the Star Trek panel.
But then Johnny Depp showed up to promote Ebenezer, and is Ebenezer directed by any of those people?
So yeah, going back to Thursday, during Directors on Directing, at like 5 minutes is left on the panel, and the guy from Collider kind of says his line of like, well, so we got about 5 minutes left. He even felt like he had to kind of like say, there's a reason I'm saying this, and then suddenly the room goes dark. And then out walks Johnny Depp in character as Ebenezer to promote this Ebenezer movie. Which, by the way, I had not seen, or I guess maybe that was when they first showed the trailer, and then it's out publicly. Yeah. You can watch it. I'm watching it going, man, this looks very Tim Burton, but it's not Tim Burton.
It's not.
It's Ty West.
Okay.
And, I think it looks fine, whatever. Not to really comment on Ebenezer, but it was weird. I'm like, why is this being promoted at the end of Directors on Directing? Like,
when that director isn't even in the room?
Yeah, that director's not even there. Like, it's just felt very like, well, the studio wants to promote Ebenezer and we're going to throw it somewhere. So we're going to throw it at the end of the director's panel. I don't know.
He was in town like that day, I guess. And that was the only day he was available. Maybe
he appeared out at the so there was an installation on Fifth Avenue in Gaslamp where on Thursday, you can see it in my video that I posted. So there is this building at the time where the shutters were like clanging open and closed. And then the sign out front was covered. You couldn't read it yet. And a lot of us, somebody who's standing near us was like, yeah, I think it's for Ebenezer. But we were on video going, what is this? What's this for?
Right.
Well, yeah, that day on Thursday, I guess Johnny Depp as Ebenezer appeared outside, like walked out the door of that installation, and kind of like people got to take photos of him and stuff.
While you guys were in Stewart Fails to Save the Universe, while you were in that, when he did that stunt.
Yeah.
And then he went to help. And I know that just because of the way things were panning out in me talking to you guys and seeing things drop on social media and texting with you guys and seeing your guys' stuff. Like, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I was like, he was just out on the street at the installation. And you're like, oh, yeah, he just dropped into our panel. And I'm like, that is funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So anyway, that was weird. But that's all we did on Thursday in Hall H. And then to go back to Saturday. So I should also say, going back to hey, Saturday looks kind of weak. Like, Atticus and I were torn. Like, are we going to even do Saturday Hall H?
Spend your entire day.
Clearly he's never experienced a Saturday Hall H. This was his first Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So part of us was like, well, you should do it. Let's do it. But then it was also like, there's not a lot going on. And sadly, he is enjoying watching the MCU movies. We've been watching through them right now, but he's not caught up. So there was also a part of me is like, should you be in the Marvel panel? But I was like, you're far enough behind that honestly, I think there's really nothing going to be spoiled for you. Yeah. So in the end, after we kind of saw how our Thursday went and how it looked like our Friday was going to go, I think I let him basically make the decision. I think he was like, well, I've already feel like I've seen a lot of the exhibit hall. I'm fine using Saturday as a Hall H day. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And Bobby already had the plan. Bobby was like, I'm getting in line early and, be like everybody, kind of do a tag team thing where we share a spot in line. Bobby got there very early. And I'll get into the logistics of the line in a second for those who don't know. But Bobby was able to get a spot in line very early. And then Atticus and I kind of took turns holding that spot throughout the day. And yeah, we got to experience the line situation and he got to experience the Saturday in Hall H, but that was
full experience.
That was not the original plan necessarily. I kind of didn't think we were going to do it, but we decided to. I was a little torn about maybe doing Friday because Friday had some good panels in Hall H. Friday had Spaceballs, the sequel.
Oh yes, it did. Yeah.
It had a panel for Lanterns and it had a panel for Amazon Prime had a panel in there, and one of the things they were discussing was the new Blade Runner 2099 single mini series they're doing. I wanted to see that stuff. Sadly, I still haven't even watched that trailer. That just clicked in my head.
You haven't watched the trailer yet?
I have not watched that trailer yet.
I've watched that trailer.
I don't know. I just forgot.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in that.
Michelle Yeoh and Hunter Schafer. Yeah. And everything I hear, it looks solid. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, that looks really good. It's funny. So this is hilarious. So when it comes to Spaceballs is not a film that I love. I don't hate Spaceballs. Let me make that very clear before everybody starts coming at me. I do not hate Spaceballs. It's just not a beloved film for me. That's all I'm going to say. However, seeing clips out of that panel, and the jokes that they were all making, and then you get to see now my brain just dropped his name.
Rick Moranis
come back out, and the way they introduced him. It was really cute. It was really fun. You can tell they're really enjoying this. They enjoyed making the film. They enjoyed doing all of it. And then they poked major fun at Marvel. And that was hilarious. Their whole, we have a whole universe plan. Yeah. And we have,
It showed an image of Phase 1 and all these Spaceball movies they're going to make.
The names are amazing. If you ever capture, any of the names that they made for the phases they're going to... Again, I'm joking. I'm using air quotes here. They're phases they're going to do. It was the funniest damn thing. It was hilarious. And Josh Gad's being Josh Gad and making jokes. That looked like a really fun panel. I would have gone to that panel because I like those people. I like those actors. I would have enjoyed that. That looked fun, even though it's not something I'm baseball too.
And I think I like Spaceballs more than you do. I mean, I cosplayed last year at Dragon Con as a Spaceballs radar technician for the first time, and we're going to do it again this year, me and a group of friends. But I really like Spaceballs. And with that said, I am cautiously optimistic for a sequel. I think just because those kind of movies had their time, and as much as I hope, trust me, I want to see the sequel to Spaceballs and I hope it's fantastic. But there's just that part of me that's is this kind of movie going to still work in this day and age?
Yeah, because I feel that kind of humor, doesn't hold up today.
Yeah, that's my worry with another Spaceballs movie. Now I say that, and a new Scary Movie just came out, right?
Scary Movie did pretty well.
I never saw it, so I don't know how it was.
The new Naked Gun actually did really well.
So what do we know?
But
it might be great.
Is that just our generation holding on to that kind of comedy? I don't know. But I feel in younger generations than you and I, that's comedy that they're not really into that type of comedy, that way of humor. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Do I think it's just going to be a big nostalgia grab for basically our generation and older? Yeah, pretty much. And that's fine. I have no hate on that.
But I just want to, before we go on for 2 hours here, Hall H Saturday. Oops. We did decide to do Saturday. And the panel schedule, like I said, did seem kind of weak for a Saturday. Now I'm going to get into the first panel of the day. Like, it's tough because before I say this, in one respect, I get what Comic-Con was doing. Like, they clearly did not have a good full schedule of Hall H panels this year. So they had to fill the space. And I will say, as much as we are kind of enjoying and also complaining that the Comic-Con experience in general can be very commercial, and it's just a lot of studios just pushing their product on us. And, I know that Comic-Con at its core, especially, has a history of promoting artists and promoting like the industry. If you follow the Comic-Con like Instagram account, for example, as we're leading up to the convention, it's not like you're getting a bunch of announcements about like, hey, Marvel's going to be here this year or Paramount, or you're not seeing any of that. What you're seeing is like, this is a spotlight artist that's going to be here, and this Comic-Con or comic book artist and this comic book artist. That is Comic-Con at its core. And clearly they needed to put a panel in the room, and they put a panel in there to open Saturday that, in one respect, I don't mean to poo-poo it, because it's like, okay, it's interesting. I guess it's good content to see, but why is this in Hall H? Other than the fact that it's like, well, we know we have an audience that's going to be in there because of Marvel. So we're basically going to make them watch this. And the first panel of the day was, and I'm going to have to read the full title, The Animation Show of Shows Origin Story, a mix of art and advertising and beyond. The moderator of the panel was Ron Diamond. And as his description is in here, animation impresario since 1980. He basically just stood there and showed us like these examples of, don't get me wrong, it's interesting animation used in advertising and like, opening credits for movies and stuff like that. But it was very boring. That sounds like just
a Ballroom 20 kind of a situation.
I'll be honest. I think if you had put this panel on the schedule in a room like let's say smaller than Ballroom 20.
Yeah.
I don't know what your next smallest room would be. And it wasn't a matter of people needing to go in that room because they wanted to be in there for something after it. I think the room would have been very dead, sadly. Like, there just would not be an interest in this. Sadly. I'm admitting that is kind of sad, because the panel itself, if you had been there, it just did not belong in that room. It was not, that crowd is there mostly because of Marvel. They're pumped about like seeing big stuff on a Saturday in Hall H. And you've been in Saturday Hall H before, Michelle, like this, if you had seen this, you'd have been like, what is happening? What are we watching in here? It was
Saturday Hall H is for movies or major TV, television, like huge television level. Like, that is what Saturday Hall H is for. Or it's for an epic reunion or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Saturday Hall H is not for the one-off like passion panels. And that's what that sounds like. I'm not saying it's bad. In a way, that does sound very interesting. And that sounds like a panel I would love to go to on a Sunday or on a Friday or a Thursday in one of the, like Atrium 8, I think is what's the next one after Ballroom. I can't remember now.
It was Ballroom 20 and then like Indigo Ballroom at Hilton.
That's it,
kind of like probably the next biggest.
Indigo is probably the next one. So that sounds like a great Indigo on Thursday or Sunday.
Right.
But does that equate? Wow. Yeah, they were thin this year.
They were thin. And Yeah, that was just, my son is in there with me for his first Saturday All H, and me and Yasha were standing there talking about the panel afterwards, and I was joking. I was like, I got to imagine my son is like, what have you dragged me to? What are we here for
This
today?
is what you guys have been talking to me about for
watching.
years. This is what you've bragged about every year.
Yeah. So yeah, that was something. After that was Star Trek. We already talked about Star Trek. The panel's fine. But then after that was Apple. And Apple clearly, this was their first big Apple Studio or Apple TV panel in Hall H. And they went for it. They basically, so obviously I haven't mentioned Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers was not there this year.
It's just crazy to me.
For those who haven't been in Hall H in the past and seen a Warner Brothers panel, usually in those big years, those kind of, peak Comic-Con years, in Hall H on Saturday, you would get Warner Brothers is like at your very first panel or like the next second panel, and it would be like a 2-hour block, and it would be epic, and they would pull the curtains back on the sides, and you wouldn't just have the small screen up or the big screen up front, but you'd have a full screen like wraparound kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's like a full 180. It's insane.
And that was definitely the Marvel MO, Warner Brothers kind of thing, and it was huge, and there was no Warner Brothers this year, which I think added to the lack of like excitement here. I mean, you've got a DC universe that's just getting started.
Yeah.
And you might think that, hey, so other than the thing that James Gunn did that he put out on YouTube that kind of laid out this first phase of DC, like you might think they would show up and talk about some stuff, but there was nothing. But anyway.
It's weird. They just did the lanterns on Friday and that's it.
That was it.
That's so crazy to me.
So Apple TV clearly took that spot, and they did the full wraparound screen thing. Like
Nice.
they did a 2-hour block, and they pulled the curtains back and used the big screens, and they were there to talk about a lot of their stuff. And they showed us the first look at this Matchbox film that's coming out with John Cena.
Oh yeah.
John Cena was there. Actually, I think that's what when I asked Atticus after Hall H, like, okay, what was the most interesting thing, or what did you enjoy seeing most? I think he said it was probably coolest to see John Cena in person.
Oh, nice.
So John Cena was there. They talked about that. What else? They did a Widow's Bay segment, which first I should say, we both really want to watch Widow's Bay.
I do.
Like, and part of me was like, man, should I get a hall pass for this part? Because I don't
walk out for a few minutes.
But they didn't really spoil anything.
Okay,
I think
good.
they recognize that even though the show is doing very well, that there's still probably a lot of people who have not watched it yet, and they didn't talk spoilers.
I think they put it out the wrong time of year, and that's just my opinion. I'm looking forward to watching this film, that show,
yeah.
but I feel like that's a show that they could have dropped in like September or October, and it would just everybody would be talking about it. It would just be in the zeitgeist.
But there was a part of me that's like, well, I mean, as much as you're wanting to kind of celebrate all this excitement about Widow's Bay, it got 19 Emmy nominations, I think. Part of me is also though, but the whole season's out, and why are you taking like 30 minutes to talk about Widow's Bay? But it's fine. It's cool. I'm glad everyone's excited. I want to see it. We want to see it. Yeah. But anyway, they talked about that. They talked about Dark Matter. They got another season of Dark Matter coming out. Jennifer Connelly and I forget the actor's name. I just noticed Jennifer Connelly was there for Dark Matter, and they talked about Mayday. Those two directors from the directors panel showed up to talk about Mayday. Interestingly enough, Ryan Reynolds was not there, even though apparently Ryan Reynolds was there. Find that weird, right? Like,
well, maybe they were trying to not
reveal that he was there.
Surprise for Marvel,
I guess.
And that would be my only thought.
That's the only thing I can think of.
They were, because, we all know now, we've seen the footage. He was out in
Deadpool
out amongst the people.
Right.
On the floor.
And he showed up in the Marvel panel, which
and then
we'll get
he
to.
showed up in the Marvel panel. So I'm not spoiling anything. This has been on the internet for a week now. This is not new news.
But clearly he was at Comic-Con.
Yes.
So there was a part of me that's like, so why wasn't he there to talk about Mayday? But whatever.
Mostly just not spoil that he was there for later. That's my only theory.
I feel like you still could have done that though. And it still wouldn't have spoiled it, the fact that there's like that he was in that Deadpool costume. I don't think people would have suspected suddenly, oh, wait, I think this guy is actually Ryan Reynolds. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess he could have gone to it and lied and been like, I gotta fly out. I gotta do the thing. I'm so sorry. I'm heading to England, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I don't know. He could have easily just lied and said something like that. But I think, I'm not a famous actor and make bajillions of dollars. So maybe his day just pans out that he was getting suited up and he was going with his security and he was walking the floor and then he was taking a break and then he was doing the Marvel panel and then he was going back to LA. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, they talked about that. They talked about Silo. They got a new season of Silo.
I do like Silo.
Rebecca Ferguson and the rest of the cast was there for that.
Ooh, Rebecca Ferguson.
It was weird. They brought out Tim Robbins like later in the panel.
Really?
Almost like it was like, oh, it's a big surprise. Tim Robbins is also here.
He's been in the show for...
Well, no, it's not that. It was like, yeah, but it was like, why not just bring him out with everybody else? Yeah. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I get Tim Robbins is a big actor, but at the same time, I don't know. I found that kind of odd. That's but weird. He did show up in the middle of the panel.
What you're saying is he was running late.
Sure. But that wasn't how it was presented, though.
Well, no, nobody wants to present it like they're late.
They also showed, I'm excited about this show they're doing for Neuromancer. They showed a first look at Neuromancer, which was a book that was written in like the early 80s. It's credited as the book that basically titled, like, that was the first time we've ever heard the term, cyber, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Cybersecurity?
No, not cybersecurity, but like, it doesn't matter. Anyway, But Neuromancer has been finally adapted as a TV show for Apple. That looks solid. They showed that. So the Apple TV panel was good. They definitely kind of filled the, hey, we're going to have a big panel on Hall H, and Apple went for it.
I'm glad that they did.
Part of me was surprised considering that as of this recording, they've now dropped a trailer for the new season of Ted Lasso that they didn't talk about Ted Lasso in the panel.
You know, it's funny. That's been a conversation online.
I get, like, again, I said this in our private chat, like Widow's Bay is cool, but Widow's Bay is out. Like, why not have that part of your panel and talk about Ted Lasso, which is coming out? I don't know. But my, thought is that maybe they just figure, well, the Comic-Con audience is more of a Widow's Bay audience than it is a Ted Lasso audience. But I would argue, trust me, people would be excited about seeing Jason.
I was just about to say, I'd argue that they would be just as excited for Ted Lasso, considering I've been to Comic-Con and seen people cosplaying as Ted Lasso and the beard.
Right.
Like, I'd make the argument that they could have easily even hinted that they were bringing it, and people would have shown up as Ted Lasso in cosplay for that panel.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a thing.
Totally. So.
Yeah, it was a missed opportunity for them.
So the Apple TV panel was good. Like I said, they kind of went for it, kind of like Marvel, or I keep saying Marvel, like Warner Brothers. And yeah, that was good. After that is when things got a little weird. Just weird in that, like, the drama of the Hall H line situation started to go down. I mean, obviously it was already going down outside. We just really weren't aware.
You were inside.
Yet. But so I think it was the next panel was supposed to be another panel that is very common for a Hall H Saturday is, I hate to describe it as like a filler panel, but it's a panel usually of female, actors and filmmakers that get together to talk about basically, I guess, their experience. And it's always hosted by Entertainment Weekly. This year it was called Entertainment Weekly, Bold School? Entertainment Weekly's Bold School. And it had, you look at the description, it doesn't even have who was going to be on it, but it was my brain for this show. She was on Grey's Anatomy for a long time, redhead. I cannot remember, Sarah something, I think. Anyway, she was on the panel, and then two Star Trek actresses who we had seen already at the Star Trek panel were on it. The actress that plays Uhura on Strange New Worlds and the actress from Picard.
Yeah.
They were both on it. And it was a good panel. but it started late. And I think the reason it started late, I haven't officially heard that this is why, but I assume it had to do regarding the Hall H line wristband situation developing outside of the hall. And I guess I'll take this opportunity and I'll try to be as quick as possible for those who are not familiar with how Hall H is dealt with. And we've been talking about Hall H this whole time. And I mean, I think I've made it pretty clear. Maybe I haven't. Like, for those who don't go to Comic-Con, Hall H is the big room where the big panels happen at Comic-Con. If you watch footage on social media or wherever and you're seeing all these big announcements from Comic-Con, it's probably from Hall H. Hall H holds, well, I've heard varying numbers. I've heard anywhere from 6,500 to 7,500 people. So we'll just say it holds 7,000 people. We'll go with that number. And so when you think about how many people are attending Comic-Con, as big as the room is, sadly, only a fraction of Comic-Con attendees are going to fit into Hall H each day. And the demand to get into Hall H every year, it goes up and down depending on who's going to show up, but it's very high. And there was one year where we as a group spent 2 nights in line to get into Hall H. This was before the wristband distribution system as it is now existed.
Correct.
And now, like that, just to really quickly say, I think one night Bobby spent the night in line and another night we spent the night in line.
You did. And then I brought you coffee and breakfast at 6 a.m.
But anyway, some people still kind of do that, but Comic-Con has changed the process over the years to try to eliminate that kind of stuff and to eliminate how many people are just outside the convention center in huge lines at all times. And now they have this wristband distribution system where they basically don't let you form a line until like in the wee hours of the day before. So if we're talking about Saturday, very early in the morning, in the middle of the night is some point when they'll let the line start to form. And a line will start to form. This year, Bobby got in line, I think around 4:30 or 4:45 a.m. to get our spot in line for Hall H.
It's so crazy.
And then at 7:30 p.m. each of the days is when they will start distributing wristbands.
Yep.
And the deal is, and Comic-Con has said that they order less wristbands than there are capacity in the room. And let's say if it holds 7,000, I assume they are actually handing out less wristbands than that. In other words, if you get a wristband, you are quote unquote guaranteed access into Hall H before the first panel of the day starts. The deal is you can leave the line once you get your wristband, and you just have to be back the morning of your Hall H day. You have to be back that morning by 7:30 a.m. And they say, as long as you're back by 7:30 a.m. and in the wristband line, then you will get in for the first seating. That's how it's supposed to work. This year, somehow, and we can speculate all day long. There's a lot of theories, but for some reason, a lot of people with wristbands who apparently were in line by 7:30 a.m. did not make it in, like a lot of people. And I have seen, reports on Twitter of people saying that there were counterfeit wristbands made, which, hey, we know it's totally possible. Part of me, I hesitate to go really, because I mean, they're not like just plain colored wristbands.
No.
I mean, I actually have one right here. I could dig it out if I want to, but it's, it says Hall H Saturday on it. It's a custom wristband. So, I mean, if somebody wants to make a copy of it, it could be done, but I question how quickly that could be done. Or how easily that could be done, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a person that would make counterfeit shit. So there's theories that people made counterfeit wristbands. I think there's also theories that they think they only ordered less, but maybe they just accidentally actually had too many wristbands and they handed out too many wristbands. I don't know what happened, but somehow a lot of people outside did not get in. And after that Apple TV panel, we were scrolling through Twitter and kind of seeing what was going on outside and seeing, reports of what was happening. And it seemed to me that the Entertainment Weekly panel was delayed because they were trying to work with the fire marshal to figure out how many people can we legally get in this room to make these people happy. They ended up bringing in people and just lining them against the wall on the two sides, and then along the back, there were just people standing at this point. So they got in, I guess, as many people as they could. And it is my understanding, though, there were still people outside that did not make it in for Marvel. And they just had to tell them, like, we're sorry, you're not going to make it in there. It's just, we've done everything we can do. And it was kind of a shit show, apparently. Earlier in the day, I think it was during Star Trek, Bobby got a hall pass. You could, by the way, real quick, you can get a hall pass when you're in Hall H. You can basically, once a panel starts, you can go to this special exit, get like a pass, and you can leave the hall and come back as long as you're back before that panel ends. So he did that for Star Trek, I think. And he went outside and he came back and he noticed, he's like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there like chanting, let us in, let us in. And at the time we were like, well, sorry, you got there too late. But, and then once we learned what was going on, clearly these were people who had wristbands and weren't in the room yet and were upset. So that's understandable. So yeah, it was kind of a mess. And I think that's what delayed Entertainment Weekly's panel. Entertainment Weekly was supposed to start at 5 or 4:15. And I don't think it started till like almost 4:45. It was like 30 minutes late. And they had like a 45-minute panel scheduled.
Right.
So they were supposed to be done at 5 and Marvel was supposed to start at 5:30. They didn't start till like 4:45 and they didn't end till about 5:30. They took their 45 minutes. Part of me thought that Entertainment Weekly was just going to have to be shortened.
Yeah.
But they didn't really shorten it. They like, nope.
They could have shortened 10 minutes of it at least. And
they went for it. And I will say, like, those three women could talk. Like they...
But like, even then, like, Entertainment Weekly has paid money.
Oh, yeah. No, they should. For
those 45 minutes.
I assume that's how that works, and they should get their spot.
They paid for that. Like, I see it both ways.
Yeah.
They paid that money.
So.
To do that.
So that panel happened, finally. And then, like, Marvel's next. And I wish I had seen on my watch, like, what time Marvel actually started. I felt like it didn't start till close to 6, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was like 5:45. I don't know. But, you know, and if you've never been to a Marvel panel in Hall H, it is an experience. It is, even just before the panel starts, the energy in that room, like once the panel before it ends and then it's like break time leading to Marvel, like there is just an energy. You can feel it in palpable. That room. It is crazy. It is palpable. And it's exciting. And I think even for Atticus, who's not caught up, and it's hard not to be like, oh, wow, man, this is going down. Like, this is how, it's like they're slowly handing out items.
So this year, like, things are happening.
This year they handed out, I have it right over there. I know it's hard to get to, but they handed out us these Doom masks with like the hood and like a cape.
Grab it.
And it's not important. Then they, you know, kind of the idea, they wanted everybody to put them on, and like they did like a selfie photo, and we were far enough back that I'm like, I'm not putting this on. Like, it's fine.
I'm not giving the photo.
I'm not taking they're still in the bags. Like, I mean, we haven't even taken them out of the bags. But anyway, they were handing that stuff out and everyone's getting excited. They also hand out a ticket for another item you have to go to a fulfillment room and get another free item. This year was a poster. And it was, everyone was pumped. And then Marvel comes and the Marvel panel happens. And this is when, and I mean, I promise we're not going to go on forever with this, but I do want to talk about the Marvel state of things, because I think this panel, in one respect, of course I was caught up in the excitement. It's exciting. Yeah. And there was exciting stuff announced. The very first thing they announced was, you know, the first big thing they announced was Ryan Gosling playing Ghost Rider. And he came out. And I'm not, you know, I don't know Ghost Rider from crap in the comic book world. I mean, I've seen the Nicolas Cage movie, but that's about it. That's all I know. And of course I like Ryan Gosling. That's exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah.
There was exciting things announced, but for one, the Marvel panel is supposed to be an hour and it was not an hour. Like, they did not take their full hour.
Oh, there's no way.
No, like, it felt very rushed and very quick. and boom, it was over. And it was like, by the way, there was one point where they basically kind of acted like the panel was over. And I was sitting there thinking, there's no effing way you're done. You cannot be done right now. And then Kevin Feige does his, walks back out. Hey, we actually do have one more thing. And people had already left. And like, it was pretty funny where we
Why
were.
would you leave?
We were sitting on the side
until the ugly lights go on, kids. You don't leave.
We were on the side of the room near the exit doors. And I'm not saying many people left, but there were a handful of people that were like, okay, it seems like it's over. And they got up and went to leave. And they went out. The weird thing too was that the people manning the exit doors did open the doors. Basically, there's doors that go into a lobby that then take you outside.
Right.
But they open those doors that go into the lobby. So the sunlight's coming in. And some people had started to leave, and then Kevin Feige walks back out. And then you could, like, I think Bobby and I looked over, and there were a couple people that like tried to rush back, and they like shut the doors. Like I don't think they made it back in. Or I don't know if they did or not.
Once you cross that threshold, baby, it's done. And when you're at the last panel of the day, there's no hall pass. It's done.
And Kevin Feige, I think that's when Kevin Feige came back out to talk about Black Panther. And revealed that was a great casting announcement that David Johnson
that was when
cast
you
as his son, aka the next Black Panther.
When you sent that text message, I was like, oh, like I was like, my heart. I was like, oh, this is so good. Sorry,
but
that was really
in
good
between
news.
the Ryan Gosling and the Black Panther of it all. Mostly they spent time to talk about Doomsday, and not only did the panel just feel rushed, but it also just felt like, well, we got to do things to top what things we've done in the past, and we got to do exciting things. And at one point, they do this shtick. I'm going to call it a shtick, where they were like, I think it was Robert Downey Jr. was like, like, this is like something about like, we're going to make the back row the front of the room. And then they reveal like, you normally have this black curtain that's back there, other than the like front of house, like sound and lighting people that are back along that back wall. It's basically just a black curtain, and two sections of the black curtain open up, and they have these like two little stages back there, one with some X-Men actors and one with some Avengers actors. And they're just standing on these stages, and the people in the back are all excited. I mean, the whole room's excited. And then, I don't know, like, in one respect, for the people that were in the very back, that's cool, I guess. But it was like, this just seems like, what is this? Like, it just felt kind of silly. And eventually, those actors on the back stages walk up, and they go to the front stage. And, they're high-fiving people down the aisle as they go up to the front. And, ooh, okay, exciting. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, and clearly, they mostly wanted to talk about Doomsday. They did show us some footage that I don't think they've released publicly yet for Doomsday we got to see, which was cool. It does look fun. But first I'll just say the whole Marvel panel felt kind of lackluster to me. Even though it still was exciting in the moment, when I think back to it, like I was there for the Loki event when Tom Hiddleston came out in character. And I've been there for a lot of other Marvel panels that were genuinely, I think, very good and very exciting. And this one was just not up there on the list for me. And when you think about a day, which did have a lot of drama for people just trying to get in, and, you spend so much time in line the day before, really, it was really just for Marvel. Like, it felt like kind of a bummer.
For people to commit 36 to 48 hours to watch an hour-long panel, and for that to be the panel you get. Like,
I don't want to be.
Are you serious?
I know. I sound very negative. I'm not saying the panel was bad. But like, it was still fun, but again, it felt short. It had to be under an hour, and part of me is like, normally DC will come in here and do over an hour with stuff.
It's almost like 2 hours of DC stuff. It's like 2 hours of Warner Brothers with a full hour of DC.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're also just holding back stuff for D23, which I think is like next week or something like that. I don't know if Marvel.
That's the theory.
I don't know if Marvel's doing a thing at D23, but it just seemed kind of weak. And then there's the doomsday of it all. And excuse me. Like, we got Doomsday coming out in December, and don't get me wrong, I am excited. Especially like the Doom as a character, I am excited to see. I don't know the first effing thing about Doom. Like, but he looks cool. And like, I know from what I know from the first Fantastic Four movie that came out, whenever that was, with Jessica Alba in it. Like, that's like, and I don't even remember much about Doom in that.
And that was kind of a
different.
It was a specific strip spin on Doom.
Yeah.
It was probably the most basic, well-known iteration of Doom.
But right now, considering the state of Marvel, where things have not really gone great since Endgame for Marvel, or for Marvel Studios, and there's obviously drama where it seems like they had a plan with Jonathan Majors and Kang, and they had to change things up. And I get that they're just kind of having to do a shift and figure things out. And it does feel like they're just kind of jumping into this Marvel movie with not much setup. And I know Kevin Feige has now been quoted as, well, there wasn't really a lot of setup for Thanos. And I'm like, bull effing shit.
That is like, the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life.
But however you want to try to spin it, man, you do you. But I'm sorry, I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying that for 1 second.
And I hope this movie's great. I want to be clear. I hope it doesn't come across like I'm rooting for this movie to fail or not be good. I hope it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I am doubting myself that Doomsday is going to be the movie I hope it is. Like, and I can tell you right now, at least for me, unless we see some other trailers that really get me super, super excited, I will be seeing Dune 3 before I see Doomsday. I am more excited for Dune 3 by far than I am for Doomsday right now. Yeah, aside from just being caught up in the Marvel excitement of it all.
Right.
But and then I go back to the Robert Downey Jr. of it all too. When he was announced, a lot of us were like, I mean, we like Robert Downey Jr. and all, and this is cool, but why is he playing this part? And I really, really hope that when this movie comes out and we see the story that they've made,
and they've conjured up,
that we will go, okay, I get it. I am glad they cast him as this, but as of right now, it just really feels like a stunt to just have an actor that we all love as Iron Man come back in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And that's going to really bum me out if after I watch Doomsday, I'm just like, yep, this was just, you could have gotten somebody else to play this part and removed this whole aspect of, but you look like Iron Man, like, or whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
And who knows, but I think the problem is like you said, I feel like ever since, sadly, the John Majors situation and Kang basically having to go to the wayside. I say having to. That's another conversation.
A whole conversation.
Kang going to the wayside.
Yeah.
I think that they scrambled and they went through the comics. They went through what they had and they said, what's the most interesting thing outside of Kang? And they went, okay, what if we went with this? What if we went this way to build into Infinity War? What if this is the direction we took? And they weren't excited about it. And they're just kind of floating through to get to the Infinity War-ness of it all. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what's happening. But they're trying to not allude to the fact that that's what's happened. But they're kind of doing a piss poor job of it. And I'm sorry, but you have a Marvel panel in Hall H on Saturday. You shorten the time and you give us 3 topics. What are we doing here, kids? What are we doing here? You have a show coming out in 2 months on Disney Plus. And again, that's where I guess D23 comes in.
I would assume.
To just F that up. Like, I don't.
Because,
I wasn't even there and I'm frustrated by this because, yes, I was excited about Ryan Gosling. Yes, I was excited about the Black Panther 3 announcements. But I was mostly going, okay, what are they going to do for Doomsday? Like, what's going on? And I'm sitting here at home that night. I stayed up. I didn't need to stay up that night. I could have easily gone to bed, but I stayed up. And I'm watching what's kind of unfolding, and I'm going, cool. So they revealed everybody all on different stages. That's different. Okay, sure, whatever. Oh, wow. Nobody really spoke. Oh, there's this weird thing with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool talking to Robert Downey. Cool. So is anybody actually going to talk about Doomsday? Like, as I'm sitting here at home that night, I'm going, is anyone actually going to talk about Doomsday? Is this actually happening? Like, what am I watching right now? I'm watching nothing. I'm watching a bunch of people that they made show up to San Diego that are all going to disperse back to LA or London or wherever the hell they all needed to go. And I'm thinking, what? What just happened? What just happened here?
I will say
it seemed weird from an outsider's perspective.
We mentioned very briefly earlier the whole Ryan Reynolds Deadpool thing. That was fun. Like,
it was cute to watch.
It was cute. Like, at first, I will admit, like, you know, he shows up as Deadpool in the audience and he asks a question about like Thor crying and he's fully in character, mask on and everything. And clearly it sounds like Ryan Reynolds, but I will admit, like, okay, he's not taking his mask off. So it's hard not to theorize, is that Ryan Reynolds?
Right.
Like,
correct.
I mean, it sure sounds like him. And it sure seems like the person standing there in a Deadpool costume holding a microphone is the person speaking. But I couldn't help but, because he never took his mask off, I couldn't help but question, is that actually him? But then, yeah, like you mentioned earlier, since then he has posted, and I think Marvel and other accounts have posted that, like, yes, he was like walking around in the exhibit hall, like in that costume, taking tons of photos with people as Deadpool. Like,
I had no idea it was actually him.
People just like taking photos with a Deadpool that looked really good. Well, it looked really good because it was actually him.
Yeah.
Like in an official Deadpool costume. So yeah, it does appear that it was him, but it was interesting that like he never took his mask off or anything. I think I still expected at the end of that whole thing for him to pull the mask off. Like, even it would have been even more interesting if he had pulled the mask off and he was in his like Deadpool makeup as
I was
like
just about to say.
The burns and everything.
The only reason I think that they didn't do it is because they would have had to have a very stand-up makeup artist get that makeup on him, and then hope to God it stood up to the mask being on him to then for him to take it off and then not have it just totally just F up when he took the mask off. And those are a lot of collateral damage things that when you're making a show and you're producing a situation, that's a lot of like, we can't have that fuck up.
Right.
So they just went, keeping the mask on, don't do it. Like that's just too many. I can't think of the word now. It's like a math term. It's too many things that could happen.
Because that would turn into him probably also needing to have that makeup on as he walked around and like not wearing that crap on your face and a mask over it, like walking like, I'm sure he's like F that. I'm not doing
like
that.
Like an hour or two of that out on the floor, going back, maybe having some air conditioning for a little while, and then going back to go do Hall H, and then pulling off and hope to God that you haven't just effed it up the whole time. It's too many situations. There's just too much that you can't go. So I do get it. I get it. Because it would have been stupid if it was Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it was. And then he just took the mask off. It was just him without the Deadpool scarring. That would have been weird. Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway,
it's,
I just wanted to touch on it because there was, in the moment, there was a part of me that's like, is that really him? But it does appear that it was him.
No, in the moment, even I was sitting at home going, well, that could be anybody
in a costume.
AH in a costume with a voice recording, and they just have the whole thing scripted.
Right.
And somebody's just pausing it perfectly.
Right.
It's not hard.
Just a recording kind of thing.
It's not hard to do that. But it was actually him. It was cute. It was cute for sure. But again, I will say for a Marvel panel, for that to be all that was happening, like no one else really spoke really. Nobody else had any other questions. Like it just.
But yeah, that was Marvel. We thought about staying at least for some of Kevin Smith, just so Atticus could experience some of that. But so we did get a couple tickets for fulfillment items, and we were flying out early the next morning. Yeah. So I'm like, well, if we're going to get to the fulfillment room, we got to go. And I'm glad we left because a lot of people obviously were going to go straight from Hall H down to that fulfillment room. Correct. And we kind of left and beat the crowd. Cause I think even after the Black Panther announcement happened, well, so the funny thing was they were making an announcement after that, like, please stay in your seats. Another ticket is being handed out, but I was standing there hesitating, but I'm like, I think we already have that ticket for the poster. I think they think there's
maybe like a Black Panther ticket.
Maybe no, I think some people were like, is there going to be another thing? But I think it was just that they were still handing out tickets for the poster. But anyway, we had it, so we left. And thank God we did, because we beat the crowd. We got a shirt from Apple TV and the poster.
Oh, nice.
And then we heard, because Bobby and Yasha didn't leave immediately, they waited, and then by the time they got there right behind us, they had capped the fulfillment line and were like, hey, the rush from Hall H was too much, and the
You have
fulfillment
to come
room,
back Sunday.
you have to come back Sunday. So
Ooh.
since we really couldn't bring the posters back, I was like, I met up with Bobby. I was like, here, you can have our posters, because I'm not going to be able to travel with these posters. We didn't have a poster tube. And I'm like, here you go. Because Bobby was also leaving Sunday morning and wasn't going to be able to make it into the room.
Right, but Bobby's just taking the train from San Diego to LA, and you're flying.
I was flying. If I had had a poster tube, we actually went to a CVS in Gaslamp just to see. I was like, well, one, it's the CVS and Gaslamp. I can guarantee you, if they did have any posters, poster tubes, they're going to be gone.
Gone by Friday.
And they didn't have anything. Yeah. So after that, I was like, here you go, Bobby, have the posters.
That's good. At least he got his poster.
And we got our shirts. I'm like, I can take the shirt, but I can't take this poster. I'm like, we've gotten posters from that fulfillment room in the past where I think they were already in a tube, but normally you don't. Normally you just get them and it's just, here's the poster, flat.
Yeah, we lucked out last year. They gave us a tube for something,
but
and it worked out well, because then we put other posters in that tube.
I beat myself up for going, David, you should know better. You've been to enough Comic-Cons that the next time you go, either you go out there and you get a poster tube out there when you're there somewhere and have it ready, or you bring one with you. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ideally it would have been like when we departed Anaheim, when you and Atticus split from me and your daughter.
Right.
Like, when you guys split, you guys probably should have Ubered somewhere to get a tube and then gotten on the train.
You could buy them on the exhibit floor. There's vendors that sell poster tubes on the exhibit floor.
I've purchased picture things on the exhibit floor to just make sure my things can transport home safely.
Yeah, you can also get those like sleeves that the poster just goes in. Yeah. It keeps it flat, but it protects it in like a plastic sleeve. You could do that too. But anyway, I didn't have that, so I gave the poster away.
Digress.
We have gone on a while.
We have.
And I'm trying to remember if there was any things, because I'm sure after we are done, I'll remember something I wanted to say. But I even see that your light is dimming, because I think the batteries are getting dead. Your image has gotten darker.
I've gotten darker. I'm the sun is setting on my side of the room.
My light is plugged in so it's fine.
The sun is setting on my side of the room. It's time to go.
So we should probably wrap it up. I can't think of anything else that we didn't mention. Though there was one thing to double back to our Disneyland conversation. I was just going to say really quick, you and I already talked about this, but so when we rode Pirates, we got to see the new figure for the first time.
Oh yeah, the new figure. That's right.
If you haven't seen at Disneyland only, they have this new pirate, new animatronic figure with a projected head. And it's a cool story bit that they do. There's been a lot of debate on if it's in a good spot. And you and I kind of agreed when we saw the Imagineering video about where they put it. And we've seen other people talk about where they put it. Mm-hmm. I've been kind of like, oh man, I don't know if that's a great spot, like to put an animatronic figure. I will say
too lighthearted for that location.
For that moment in the story. And actually seeing it in person, I think I liked it better than I expected. I actually thought it was fine. I mean, maybe it could still be in another spot that might be even better. I don't know what that spot would have been though.
Correct. I think that's the problem is where else would you put this guy?
But I just wanted to say really quick, to go back to the Disneyland conversation, I meant to say, actually, I thought it was fine. I kind of liked it.
No, I was looking forward to riding Pirates with this new figurine. Like we lucked out on this whole trip, honestly, when it came to the pirate situation. We also took the kids to Blue Bayou, which is the restaurant that is inside. We had that for our dinner. Like we lucked out on a lot of things because it had been under refurbishment to get this new character in. And while they were doing the refurbishment and they were putting him in, Blue Bayou was also closed for a portion. And then Blue Bayou was open, but with walls up. So like this whole trip really just kind of played out really well in our favor. But to see the figurine, especially after writing it last year, I was like, oh, wow, it was just really cool to see that. And I think even the kids like it. Like even your daughter was just like, oh, that's really neat. We don't have it. I was like, yeah, he's like 3 weeks old.
Yeah, he's very new.
And even your son was like, really? I was like, yeah, he's literally been here for like 3 weeks, like today. Yeah. He's very new to the ride. And they're like, that's cool. We got to see that. I'm like, yeah, I know. It all just kind of worked out. Right. So that was fun. No, that was really cool. And I think he looks good. I think the figurine works really well. I was trepidatious about it because I feel like imagery projected onto figurines can I don't know. It's touch and go.
It's done in different ways. It's like, I know I haven't been on the Frozen ride here at Epcot, but I know that those figures have those kind of projected faces. And I've seen mixed like examples of how they look sometimes.
I've only been ridden that one time. And that was when it first opened. And so I can't really recall. But yeah, no, I think they did a good job. I think it worked out well.
I just wanted to say really quick, it looked better than I thought it was going to look.
Agreed.
That's all. With that, I guess we're going to wrap things up because we got to go.
We should go.
We should go. Michelle's going to be in the dark in a second, so we got to go. Like I said earlier, if you're watching us on Twitch, this will be on YouTube later. Yeah, if you are watching us on YouTube and you are not subscribed to us yet, please subscribe. We would love to have you. It would help the channel greatly if you subscribe and you hit that like button on this video. And yeah, then you'll know. Also, the notification icon. You'll be notified whenever we post any stuff any more of these in the future, which we hope to do more. Like I said earlier, I know we took a very big break, and we're hoping to do more of this. And we're going to Dragon Con soon. And with that in mind too, also please check out my YouTube channel. Like I talked about earlier, Fader Monk over on YouTube. I'll be posting hopefully some more stuff. So.
Yeah, he has the Comic-Con ones that he just did. Are you doing one more Comic-Con one to wrap
Probably
that up?
2 more, actually.
Okay.
I have 2 more
See, there's more Comic-Con coming. But yeah, we'll definitely have Dragon Con content. Dragon Con 2026. Woo!
Yep. But thank you for Michelle for doing this, even though I know you weren't at Comic-Con. And,
I know. It was like the home base.
Yeah. But with that, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.